Okay, well, I'm Adjua Styles. I am a I an owner of four juice bars with my husband, co-owner. We have two locations in the Bronx, one in Brooklyn, and one in Westchester. We also have a thriving online health and wellness business where we sell supplements and things like oil of oregano and bladderwrack root and flaxseed oils. And we had some CBD, but that's a whole other story. But we do offer that as well. So basically, we started about 10 years ago catering to the inner city, obviously, because there was a lack of healthy options. Food deserts in New York. Well, you're not from New York, but there's food deserts in New York,
Yeah,
which
there's some here, yeah.
which is common. If you wherever we live, it's kind of food desert, so
Right.
it's not you can identify. Um, but basically, so we just opened up our first juice bar about 10 years ago, and to more so bring awareness and education as opposed to making money. You know, we noticed just being in that location, the need. People really really want to be healthy. They really want to understand the lifestyle, and it can be some things can be intimidating, especially when in the beginning, especially for us. And when we see other people do it and we want to understand it, it's kind of intimidating because we don't see it amongst our people as much.
Exactly.
But that's why we wanted to do that and make it more simple and more accessible and easy. So we did that. One store turned into four, and then we have our sister business, the Pharmacy for Life. That's with an F, Pharmacy for Life. That's the online business. So we've been thriving throughout this pandemic, helping to support people, and because our businesses have still been open, so we've been doing pretty well. But that's pretty much what we're here. We just want to fill a void where, in layman's terms, so to speak, where it's not so all this pomp and circumstance and all this stuff that's attached to the lifestyle, just basic stuff, like eat your colors, and if you can't pronounce certain ingredients, don't eat them, just certain things. So that's what we provide. So in a nutshell, yeah.
Okay, so when did you realize you wanted to go vegan?
Oh, well, does it ever really happen on purpose? Because I kind of had issues at first, and my husband had issues, and well, he inspired me, but just seeing the benefits through him, I would say alone, just um, he had really bad eczema. He was, I would say, hyper, emotionally hyper, wasn't able to maintain a balance or control over his emotions. Um, so that was the first thing. I initially just noticed those differences in him, and then I tried, and then I got turned on in a whole different way. So my skin was amazing, my energy was amazing. I was having clearer thoughts. I was really realizing the difference, because I said, well, just how the fuck was I functioning before? Because it's such a difference
Right.
afterwards that it's like, wow, like it's kind of scary because you see things totally different. So it was more so just, I guess, it's personal. You see the personal differences, and of course, there's a lot of common things, like going to the bathroom regularly, and
Right.
just letting your body respond. Your body responds to you. So it's a receptor. It's always responding. So when it responds to the good things and you see it, I don't know, I gravitate towards it. So
Right. So you saw, so prior to, there were like personal female issues and stuff like that. Did you see
oh
those
yeah,
things?
oh yeah. I actually had candida,
Uh-huh.
which it's like a foreign language to some
Right.
people. They don't even know what that is. Which I tell people all the time: if you're not familiar, which I'm sure you are,
Yes.
if you're not familiar with it, then more than likely you might have it,
Right.
because you need to identify with that in your life especially as a woman.
Right.
So I had an issue with, I guess, sinus infections too. That was another issue. So which I was on antibiotics, and through the use of antibiotics, I developed candida, and I couldn't figure out what it was. And none of the doctors could figure out what it was, and I basically self-diagnosed myself through research. And I did I want to say a 3-month detox, which was very painful. to transition over, but it was needed. And once I crossed over, I was able to see the complete difference. And then I've never had it ever since. And that was maybe about 8 years ago.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I never want that again. But the main thing with that is I would say processed foods and high acidic foods and sugary
Sugars.
foods. That it was really bad, the sugars. And again, sugar's basically in everything. So if you're eating it so much in everything, your body's gonna break down at some point, or it's gonna respond in another way. So that was one of the things that I noticed. Mainly, yeah.
Okay, so do you think like actually going into this lifestyle, it's a more positive result on the end?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, well, like it's interesting because my husband and I, we have totally different reasons for why we do what we do. Like his is, well, I could never eat an animal, and I get it, and
Mhm.
that's true. But mine's is like I don't like if I have to survive and something really happens, and I don't know if there's any fruits. Like I don't know, I might do it. So my thing is, it's more of I feel when you're really living the lifestyle, you're connected not more so just to animals, to the universe, and
Mhm.
to everything around you, anything with souls and anything, I don't know. I just crossed over more to a love connection, if that makes sense. It's just
Right.
a genuine love and not the romantic love that everybody thinks of. It's just a caring, compassion, a difference. And I definitely feel it's gotten me more peaceful, more whole, more kind and thoughtful. So yeah,
Right. Because you're more clear in a sense because you're not overloading your
you're
body with all the
operating from
processed
a totally
foods.
different space. Yeah.
Mm. Okay, so how do you handle social situations? So if you're out with friends and they're not.
This is easy. Like this is easy. Like people think it's like, listen, first of all, I try to eat home as much as possible.
Hmm.
That's number one. If I know I'm going out, I try to cram as much as home as possible. So that way I limit wanting to eat fried things and greasy things or whatever. But for the most part, there's always something. You just have to be strict with your waiter
Hmm.
and peace, kind, because you
Right.
don't want any extra ingredients. But for the most part, yeah, I mean, I can always find something steamed. I can always get something boiled. I can always there's options. So if it's not a vegetable, then it's a baked potato. I've done all sorts of things. Like I've made meals up in my hotel before. Like I can, like if I'm in a hotel and like there's nothing I can order off the room service. Like if there's a Whole Foods or something, a local market,
Mm.
I'll grab some chickpeas and some lime juice and make a little salad. If I can't get my hands on the mayo, I'll figure it out.
Right.
Avocado, pepper, it's about eating to live versus living to eat. And that's what people don't understand. Because once you change your diet, you'll understand that you're not as hungry as much as people
Mm.
think that you're going to be starving as a vegan. No, you're not. The point is you eat when necessary and
Right.
for fuel. So it's a different situation. You know.
Right. So growing up, what was your favorite food and how did you veganize it now?
Well, my dad was a Rasta.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
my
Well,
dad. Right. So I had a little bit of a head start. So I grew up in an idol household.
uh-huh.
So I knew about sorrel. I knew about sea moss. I knew about yuccas and plantains and chayotes. I knew about everything early.
Uh-huh.
So I I was eating like that. So it was easy. What the problem was is for when I moved out of the house and I was on my own and I was
Uh-huh.
just like, oh, I got to eat like my friends and I got the Kellogg's this and the that and within maybe about a month, I don't know, I was just like, I can't eat like this anymore. I just
Oh,
stopped. You go right back into what you know. Probably it was a headache or something I saw more than likely or something I didn't like because I always pay attention to the way my body responds and then act off of that. So if something tells me something, then I'll alter or scale back. So more than likely something happened. And I said, you know what, no, let me go on back to what I know.
right.
And and that's the good thing about this is what I try. And if you notice, if you are a good messenger and good teacher, people will always walk away with information and not feeling pressured like it's something that they have to do. It's more or less something that they want to do, or it's an understanding of how they can be, and I notice I have a lot of people, it's taking time and they do little baby steps here and there, but the education never leaves. And that's the most important to me.
Right. So, okay, so there's this so-called stigma that when it comes to eating meat and dairy in various cultures, that many are led to believe that this diet lifestyle is only for certain cultures. Do you agree with that, or is there a
Wait, can you
misconception?
repeat that?
Okay, so there's this underlying stigma that when it comes to certain cultures, eating meat and dairy, that
Oh,
they're right, yeah, that is not for certain cultures. Do you think
yeah.
that?
Well, for example, I'm a Latina.
Mm,
It's pork all day. That's, I'm Panamanian and Cuban. So, they don't understand me. They don't think it makes sense. They'll say I'm unhealthy, and then they'll go into our generation and how we ate for years and
mm,
so forth. And that's true to a degree, because I do understand. Again, I grew up in a certain household, so I had that training, and my body kind of understood that lifestyle to a degree. But I feel as though when you're heavily toxic and you are, like, just say you are coming from a family of like Southern, like really embedded, the transition is harder because your body doesn't respond to it as fast because you have more toxins. So it's more of a challenge. So it really, to me, it's when you have a personal choice to do anything, it's going to work out for you. But if you don't understand the challenges along the way,
mm.
then you're going to want to quit and not understand why you're having the challenges. So I understand that, and I don't. I mean, I understand it, but I don't believe it.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
understand it, but I don't believe it. I feel like anything for the most part is reversible, health wise. I feel like you can always, well, this, you can always jumpstart your body and your system. So
Exactly.
no, you don't have to. You don't have to, you know, eat that way.
Right. 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 And you kind of like say this to the family members, the elders that, we
Oh,
did eat that way, but we could change
right,
that now.
right, right, right.
We could change it.
We could
Okay,
change.
so do you feel that eliminating meat and dairy from your diet, like you spend too much on groceries? Because that's a whole
You,
big thing.
oh my God. Well, see, and this is these questions are great because I'm like, this is the thing. Oh, it's organic. It's too expensive. No, the meat costs more. The
Right.
meat costs way more. You're paying way more for dead carcass than you are for live ingredients, to put live ingredients back in your body. So no, total difference. I can, man, $20 I can get right. So no,
Exactly.
no, no, no. I don't agree with that at all.
But more on the lines of, I mean, it can be if you're doing the processed vegan foods, like if you're buying
Well,
those foods.
exactly, because again, it's the manufacturing and it's other people involved. But anything fresh and you're making it yourself, it's going to be pretty soup to nuts. It's cheap, cheap. It's pretty cheap, reasonable, I would say.
Right. So, do you get like a certain reaction, like from family members when, with you being on this lifestyle? Like, is it hard to explain to them like why you chose to do this, or do you ever have to go into those
No, because I
discussions?
think they see the difference in
Mhm.
me. So I think they're like, good, just keep doing what you're doing. So
Uh,
for me, no, seriously, because I mean, I can honestly say I was definitely more combative
oh,
beforehand.
okay.
Less thoughtful. I didn't care about a lot of things because again, your mind is in a totally different space. Your
Mm,
energy is in a different space. So when that's coming full center and whole, it's a different thing. So what you're emitting and giving off, it's people enjoy it. They like it. And that's
right.
the thing people don't understand. They're like, these people are amazing. You guys are so amazing. And it's really a lifestyle. It's you think, you eat, it's
Right. It's all
all related. Yeah.
right. Okay. So, do you think there will ever be a period of time when the majority of people of color will eliminate meat and dairy from their diet?
Oh, I thought you was gonna say crossover. Like just get better. Eliminate. That's hard because these kids, half of these people are chickens already because their DNA are made up of chickens. So, um, I don't know. I would say they're definitely making a major effort to change and to want to get, aware. So I wish. I really can't say. I can't say, but I see a lot of people that want to.
Right.
Every day the conversation's changing. And so it's the last person I thought of is now we're having this conversation. So, I'm hopeful.
Right. So they're more open to it.
Absolutely.
Right.
Oh, and mainly because I tell people all the time, like, don't get it twisted. I don't like nasty shit. Like, I like good food.
Right.
Just because I eat that way doesn't mean it's nasty. So I've tricked people before. I've given people food and they like wanted to be like, what? This is no. I'm like, no, this is not meat. This is not tuna fish. No, this is, no cheese. This is, this is what it is. And they're like, wow, I could do this. I could do this.
Right.
But you have to cook for me every day. And I'm like,
right, because once you say the food's vegan, it's like, oh no,
no, right, no, I'm good.
Oh,
I'm good. Right, no thanks. Right.
It's like, here, eat this. Oh, this was good. It was vegan, right?
And it's so funny because now when I walk in the door someplace and I see certain things, I try so badly not to, because I wear everything on my face. So I try so badly not to make an expression of my face because I'm seeing stuff and I'm like, and I don't want to smell these things. Like, and just really quickly, we did the marriage boot camp. My husband and I, we did the last season, and we woke up every day to bacon smells. And we said we had a conversation with each other, and we said, "Wait, suppose we smell bacon every single day?" I said, "People still eat bacon." I said, "What would we do?" And we said, "Well, we just have to figure it out." And thank God that we had balconies and outdoors and everything because we went outside every single day, and they knew it. And they started to feel uncomfortable. And we were like, no, eat your bacon. No, eat your bacon. But, we just don't, and then when we would cook things, they would be like, what is that aroma? It smells amazing. And I would give them things and they'd be like, damn it, this is amazing.
Right.
But you know what? It just takes some time. It takes some time.
Right.
Like, put the shit in your body. Like, come on, put a little bit more effort into you.
Exactly. Because really it's about seasoning your food because you're not going to not eat.
Hello. At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, no, we still eating good over here. Like my Thanksgivings are amazing, so.
Oh yeah. So it's yeah. Hope we'll get there.
Yes. Yeah, with people like you and I, we will.
Yes, exactly. So do you think there's a connection between health and the foods that we consume in the Black community when it comes to health challenges?
In terms of
like diabetes, like all that.
Diabetes, cancer, high blood pressure, thyroids, fibroids. This is dairy. This is high acidic diets. This is processed meats, sugary foods, all of the above. Everything that's pretty much in the supermarket. And it's like, my people, I love you guys so much, but I want them to understand that when you go into a supermarket and you see 12 aisles of the same products and the same names and the same brands, and then you go in the health food aisle and it's the smallest, tiniest little aisle. Like, do you want to be the special aisle or come from the special place, or do you want something that everybody, you know what I mean? Seriously,
right.
Because like look at how things are marketed and sold. It's in smaller batches, smaller quantities, which means you're getting nutrients, and it's so it's a lot of work we do. But yes, very bad, those diseases.
Right, because what it is a connection, and a lot of us don't realize that the food that we're eating are causing the majority of this disease. So it's like we got to figure out this connection.
And this is what I was trying to explain to people right now with COVID, because again, like, we already know that the fear is the real major weapon that's being used now. But listen, you could be ahead of the game, ahead of any game, and prepared by just having your immune system intact.
Right.
So that way, whatever comes your way, it passes, you're good. So you don't have to focus on trying to get ready right now and worrying about trying to reverse shit from 12 years ago that you might not, be able to reverse. But it's very important because this is what it's attacking. Like when you have these predispositions and you're walking around with these predispositions thinking, that it, like adapting to the predispositions as if it's a lifestyle.
Exactly.
And then something happens and now everybody's scared. No, these are things that should have been monitored and checked out beforehand, so it's
But then
sad.
that's the thing, like, but a lot of people don't connect that, like food, you have to connect food with what's going on in your body.
You have to. The same way you do with conversations, the same way you do with lotions, the same way you do with TV. Like anything that you're consuming, you have to know and monitor what it is.
Right.
Period. And you know what though? That simple concept is not easy to grasp because it wasn't easy for me to grasp at first. And I'm not even going to lie. Like at first I didn't understand, I guess, organic. And I just didn't understand what organic meant maybe like 20 years ago. I just didn't get it, and I got it finally and I understood, but simple concepts are the hardest I feel to understand. Just the simplest things, like you are what you eat. It's literally.
You definitely are.
It really can't get any more simpler than that, and just when you really think about that, and if you think, you eat meat 3 times a day or 4 times a day, and dairy or whatever you're eating, shit, just say you're eating blueberries all day. I'm a blueberry, I've just been eating blueberries, but you are what you eat, it'll depress you, it can give you energy, it can fatigue you, it can depress you, it can inspire you. Your food is your fuel,
Right. So in the household, if if you wasn't married or anything, would it be easier to date someone who was on this lifestyle or wasn't? Or would you even
I don't think
ponder?
I honestly, and I'm glad you're asking this question because this is real. I honestly don't think I could, because you got to understand we're going to now have to be intimate at some point.
Right.
And we're going to have to exchange bodily fluids, kiss or whatever. And I don't want to be apprehensive or feeling uncomfortable about what you eat or what you do eat or what's in your system, because we're transferring things and I don't eat those things. So, I don't want to get that deep.
Right.
But I don't want to get that deep, but we could go deep because, if you're talking about oral sex here, you really, it's important. Right. Because if sex period. So, and orally, if you're not eating certain things properly or eating the right things, this is what's
exactly. That's what you're drinking.
Yeah. This is what's coming out. So this is what you're giving to your partner. So if you have a shitty diet, your partner's eating it, Right. So it's very important and it's very simple. And you can actually monitor and test yourself with certain foods and see how your urine responds as a woman, to see how, just how your body responds to it. So it's very important. I mean, I've threatened my friend before. I told her, I said, I don't know how much longer we can be friends if you keep going through the drive-thru for your kid. Like, I can't sit here and watch you eat McDonald's and give this to the child. I just can't be privy to it, or just, I can't. And, that's her thing. So I don't know. I can't. I wouldn't be able to. I wouldn't be able to date. No. I mean, I borderline can't use people's cups and things of that nature when I go to their house or their tableware or whatever, because I'm afraid of what they use. And then there's a whole cleanup process that comes with that. Like when you're eating and dealing with animals and stuff, like you got to be detoxing at least or something to get rid of some of this bacteria or this toxin. Otherwise, it's just piling up. So no, thank you. No, thank you.
Okay, so what you just said about the children. So with children and cooking for them, is that kind of easier, or do you think that with children are like, no, I don't want to eat that, or?
Nope. When my son was 2 and I did the traditional way and I used to give him a chicken drumstick, he would throw it down, he would spit it out, and it was almost like I was giving him something that his body was rejecting. like you
Right.
just didn't, and that was one thing I noticed. And another thing I noticed is when you get kids young with certain things and you introduce the foods to them, you got them. You're good.
Right.
So it's not hard. It's harder when they get adapted and um, their system, chooses when they get exposed to the other bad things early, and then
Right.
it's because you're, oh shit, what's the word? Not dependent, addicted.
Yeah.
You become addicted to the foods. So when the child becomes addicted to the foods early, they're not going to be open into embracing the healthier lifestyle because it tastes totally different. Your taste buds have to get acquired.
Right.
They have to get, they got to transition. So either way, to good or to bad. So if you start them out good, they will actually reject the bad things because it won't taste as great to them. So I don't feel
Right.
difficult. I just feel like it's when you introduce to them, and it could be easy, and you give them the craziest things that adults won't eat, and they'll eat them,
Right.
and they'll eat them. But for me, I started with like baby foods, just doing regular applesauce and mashed potatoes and mashed broccolis and things of that nature. And my kids are healthy. They've never been sick and all of that. So
Right.
that matters. The ear infections and all of that.
Right. Because I'll have this conversation with others, and I'll say, when you're born, you pretty much are a vegan because you're nursing
And then you
and
start switching over to cow's milk. Like, come on. Like, come on, cow's milk.
right, because we're the only species that drinks milk from another species. Like, come on.
Like, come on. And then it's not even milk. Go
Right.
figure. That to think that they're actually serving us what they're giving us, and then you still want to consume it? I know. No, thank you. Right?
Yeah, because you're pretty much a vegan when you're born, because
Yes.
when you start eating solid foods, everything is mashed vegetables and fruits. Like
You're
Vitamix.
right. And I actually never looked at it like that. It's literally when you come into this world, you are.
Yeah. Until you're introduced to meat.
Right. To the other stuff. You're right. You're
Right.
right.
So you literally were. Like the Vitamix was a lifesaver for me.
Listen, travel, it's amazing. 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 I think I broke like 3 of them. That's how much I use them. Like, I really use them. They're amazing.
Yeah, with the kids.
With the soups and the salsas, everything.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you could put everything in a Vitamix.
Everything, right?
Because like the majority of my diet is raw, so I just pop it in the Vitamix and
Oh,
keep
okay.
it moving.
Okay. See, now that is challenging for me.
Well, yes.
And I try to do as much as possible because it's really important.
Uh,
I feel it's really important to get some real live foods, but it's challenging.
it, it, it is.
That's challenging for me.
And it can be like the majority of what I do, like in the mornings, and it's kind of like in the morning afternoon type thing. I'll break my fast with a smoothie or water, and then if I do want to eat something raw, it's gonna be during the middle of the day. Like I'm sorry, anything cooked, it's gonna be in the middle of the day.
Oh, okay.
But other than
Okay. So
that,
you do. Okay.
it's gonna be smoothies, fruits, veggies and stuff like that. But
Okay.
if I do want to eat something cooked, it's during the middle of the day, so it can
Okay. Okay.
process it, and then I'll stop eating at a certain time at night for the majority of
Right.
the time, and then do it all over again. But
Right. Okay.
raw, yeah.
Yeah, but it's so good. It's so good. Like, and the only time I can say that I've done that is when I'm fasting or doing a altered fast or
uh-huh.
a modified fast. I'll have some raw foods, and it's okay then because I know I'm fasting. But when I try to do it regular, it's just like I'll just try to get. You know what I do like that I'll eat a lot of is microgreens because of the flavor. So I don't feel as though I'm eating like a whole bunch of salad, so to speak,
Right.
and kale and all that. But I'm getting a lot of nutrients, and I can eat a lot of it in several times throughout the day. So I can play around with that. But some things are difficult, like some
Right,
of the raw
but
pastas.
no, well, yeah, but also, it's dehydrated, so it's foods under 125 degrees. So it's
Okay.
not just,
Okay.
raw
Oh,
salad.
right. See, I forget about
Yeah.
that. Okay. See,
Yeah.
that's help. That saves you, right?
Yeah. Oh, big time. I just
Yeah.
had nachos the other day that were raw,
Really?
but
I'm like,
they
oh
were
wow.
dehydrated.
Okay. All right. And that's funny because I'm actually going to make some okra today. I'm in the mood to make some okra. I'm going to use my air fryer. And that's the only thing I use for the fryer is the air fryer because I don't really like frying.
Uh-huh.
You
So
know,
how you like that?
it works for certain things,
Uh-huh.
not everything, but it does work. Mushrooms work amazing in there, like bacon,
Uh-huh.
amazing. But it works. Potatoes, you know, when you're in the mood for that,
Right.
you know, and you want to feel like you're cheating or you're being bad and you're eating something that's just fine and healthy, but it's cool.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That'll work. Okay. So what advice would you give someone who wants to make the switch to this lifestyle?
It depends so much on well, it doesn't really depend. Well, it does depend. The advice that I would give, it depends on the person because the factors, there's so many factors, lifestyle. Um, Basically, I would say don't overwhelm yourself. I would say try to start with maybe trying to make some recipes that you regularly like without meat. Just
Right.
try to do little things like just gradually scale back on the meat. Like, you know, like maybe where you ate meat every day, maybe twice a week, and then gradually go down because if you do too much right away, you're going to be miserable. I feel like you'll be miserable and it's too much. It's because I tried it, you know, and I was miserable. I was like, I don't do this and I'm determined and I was, nah, it wasn't going to work. I had to just do it slow and through your body because also if you do too much too fast, you'll start detoxing.
Mm.
So I would just say move slow with reading the ingredients and making sure that you can understand and comprehend all of the ingredients of the food that you're getting. If you do eat meat, I would say at least make sure it's organic and you know where it's coming from, at least, as opposed to just a random supermarket. But try to cut back eventually on the. Well, I would tell no dairy whatsoever.
Right.
Like you know, the thing is about the meat is it is a lot of people that have allergies and a lot of people that have a lot of issues. So it's like I can't tell you not to eat it if you can't get it in another form. You know, so it's like it's hard to, I don't really know the lifestyle, but I would just basically tell you, stop eating meat, minimize the meat as much as possible, no dairy whatsoever, um, incorporate as much greens, and watch how your body responds to you. And if you like it, and if you continue with it, and just, you know, eliminate, just go with your body. Go with your body, but just start somewhere. It's small, you know, simple. Like I'm not doing dairy this month. I'm not doing meat for a week or 2 weeks and watch how you feel. I guarantee you won't complain
Right.
about it. You know, I guarantee you're going to find some positives. But what happens is people are so used to and conditioned to doing what they do that it's the autopilot. You know, you got to reprogram yourself to do something different if you want something different. So it really depends on your needs and what you're going after and what you want out of life, you know,
Right.
because it's there for everyone. The benefits are there for everyone, you know, for anyone.
Right. Yeah, because you mentioned that when you did it, that you actually detox. That's the same thing I did. Like I did the whole 20 days, and I actually did 40. You said you did 3 months.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
yeah, because when you're doing that, you're already reprogramming your brain. So you're reprogramming your brain, you're reprogramming your taste buds and all that stuff. So like after you get past the 3 or 4 days, you're like, okay,
Right.
okay, I can do
Right,
this.
right, right,
But them
right.
3 4 days, like,
Listen, right at first, and it's true because at first it was like, "Are you kidding me? Like I'm really supposed to do this for this long?" But then after a minute, and that's what I try to tell people all the time: like, if you can't go without food for a certain period of time, that you're addicted because you should be able to. I mean, of course, you're going to get hungry and you're going to feel like but famished and starving. You should really never be that. That's your body responding to those chemicals and
right.
the toxins
The
and
toxins are flooding
other
into
things.
your blood.
Because, like, you know, if something goes down, you might not be able to eat for like a couple of days, and you should be able to still sustain,
Right.
you know, off of it. But a lot of people, you know, they might start scratching and going crazy because they're not getting the sugar, and you know, I mean, look,
Yeah, because that is like sugar is the actual number one
oh my God,
drug, which a
the
lot of people
worst thing
don't
in the
understand.
world.
Number
Sugar
one.
is the worst thing in the world. I call that the silent killer. The
Yeah.
silent killer is the worst thing in the world.
Big time. And then it goes back to the ingredients, because there's high fructose, but not sugar. And a lot of people don't know that either. High fructose is sugar.
Right. Period. Well, I tell people this: if it tastes sweet, it's sugar, because there's still fruit sugar. So if it tastes sweet, it's sugar. Just know that it's sugar somewhere along the lines. It could still be natural sugar, but it's sugar.
Right.
So monitor it. And then that's another thing I tell people, like, make sure you monitor your sugars. Like, when I got hip to that and I started looking at the sugars that was on these containers, 40 grams of sugar in
Right.
one serving. And then you've had bread and pizza and a slice of cake for dessert and everything. Like, so bad. But I feel bad because you're really not aware, because I doubt people really want to do that much damage to themselves. They're just trying to think, this is healthy. It's good. It's out there. Why would it be bad for me?
Right.
But it is. It is. And that's the whole point, because we've gotten so far away from what we know and what's supposed to be that you think artificial colors are supposed to be. None of that stuff is supposed to be. We were just taught wrong, and educated wrong, and by what they wanted us, American diet. So with that being said, we've gotten away from what we truly know. And that's really the conversation that I have with my family and people like that. Like, you guys are conditioned. Like, I hear what you're saying. And even though with the culture, even the cultures have gotten conditioned to a degree, because you're doing Thanksgivings and certain things, which, there's certain staples that everybody uses. That's because everybody's following each other. So if you go back to the original, your grandma's recipe for something else is going to be totally different than what somebody else had. Right. So, we're lost from where we are supposed to be. So the whole belief system is convoluted.
Like, that's a whole nother conversation in itself.
Right.
All right. So, last question. What is your favorite recipe, dinner, or lunch that you like to cook?
Oh my God, I like so many things. I made this amazing cake the other day for the first time. It was a orange peel cardamom olive oil cake. So this is going down. That was one of my favorites. That was amazing. Let's see, what's my favorite? I'm a chef. I went to culinary school, so everything I make is good. Like, everything I make, I gotta be honest. Like, I make.
Okay, so let's do this. So if friends were coming over for dinner tonight, what would you make?
Okay, I would probably make them a mac and cheese. I would probably make some fried mushrooms.
And they're not vegan. They're not vegan.
And right, no, but they are going to eat my food. I don't care. When you come by my house, you eat what we eat. This is what's here. So no, you're going to get macaroni and cheese. You're going to get maybe I'll do the fried okra for you, or I also like fried oyster mushrooms.
Oh, them!
So good, man, so good. So I would do something like that because, again, I'm trying to excite them into this diet here. Right. So I want to give them some chicken and mac to make them feel comfortable. So I would do something like that. But another thing that people really like is, or that I really like is, I really like sweet potatoes with sauteed onions. And kale. It sounds crazy, but or boring. It's so flavorful and it's so damn good. And I'm like, you're like, girl, taste it. Just taste it, and you're like, wow, like the sweet, the savory. It's amazing. It's really good. I like that. So those are easy. That's an easy meal to make.
Yeah.
The sweet potatoes. That's an easy thing to do. And the mac is easy too. But I try to stay away from the cheese. As I notice when I eat the processed cheese, and see, this is the thing with vegan too. You got issues on this side too. So you got to pay attention, because I get nasal and I feel congested immediately from the process. So got to monitor that too. But,
exactly, because just because you're vegan doesn't mean it's healthy.
Exactly. Yep.
You still have the processed foods.
People don't think, oh no, I can eat French fries all day, every day. No, you can't. And then you got to stay away from the white potatoes. So it's like, oh no, I can't just live around you. It's not that. I want you to live longer.
It's just moderation. It's just moderation.
Exactly.
So, okay, so that's pretty much it. Just you can give us some information like what's going on with you, what you're doing next and what you have going on. You can and all your social media
Well,
information.
I wish I could tell you right now, but everything's kind of
Oh, okay.
a little uncertain right now. So what I did have, it kind of fell through. Like I had a book tour that was scheduled. I would have been on tour now.
Uh,
Um, so that's fell through, but that's okay. So I've got some calls and some more TV. So we'll see how that goes. Working on some pilots. I have a cookbook coming out with my husband, a vegan, plant-based book. So look, I had a lot of things in place and I kind of don't know what's exactly happening,
right.
but I'm working. I'm trying to work towards because
Uh-huh.
again, just like I don't know. Every time I wanna give a date or say something, I can't because I can't confirm it. You know?
Right.
So
Right. But you do have your book that's out now, right?
oh yes, I'm
So
sorry.
give
I
the
have
yeah.
the Israel hike. It is out right now on all platforms. It's amazing. It's
Uh,
a book about healing, love, and loss. My 20-year-old daughter, she passed away from suicide.
mm,
And again, in that book, I talk about she wasn't living with me at the time, but I do stress in that book a part where when I went to her place to get her things, I looked in
mm,
the fridge
mm.
what she ate, and I was clutched my pearls because I was like, we don't eat like this. So I kind of honestly believe, and I know in my heart
Uh-huh.
that because there's a hyperactivity that comes with foods. I know my kid,
Right.
you know, and you can eat certain things and respond certain ways. And we've just had this conversation. So I know, like, we never ate Franks. She had Franks and blue dye, and blue is the worst color, to be honest
Oh,
with you.
yeah.
She had that, and I was just like, and then I heard she was drinking, and so I'm like, okay, so now I understand a little bit more of what was taking
Right.
place. Again, consumption, the
Right.
things you were doing. So that's in the book as well. So the book is the Ethereal Hike, and my husband wrote the foreword, and it's out now. It's been out since January on her birthday, and it was cathartic. It's amazing. It's resonating with everyone, and I
Uh,
love that because it's a very honest, open piece, using trauma to heal as
right.
well. A lot of things that I've divulged in there that her passing has allowed me to deal with and open up with. So,
Mm.
just
It's
trying to
healing.
be. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. So give us all your social media platforms.
Okay. Adjua Styles on Instagram. That's ADJUASTYLES on Instagram. I don't use Facebook. I had to get out of there. I have adjuastyles.com. That's my website. And Pharmacy for Life is Pharmacy for Life with an F. That's our online supplement health and wellness business. And my husband, so he's everywhere. So, but for now, that's it. I mean, of course, if you want to catch me on demand, you can catch me on Black Love. I did a season of Black Love with my husband on OWN. OWN. I'm asking you.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but on
It is.
OWN.
It is
And
on
that's
own.
on WeTV. So there's some, and I actually have some YouTube videos actually that may be great for you. I did a series called Juice Appeal last year.
Mm.
And I used to have artists come by the juice bar and we would try to talk to them about health, which was amazing because, these are the guys with all the money,
Right. I saw the
all
one
the
with Fat
attention,
Joe.
and they have no knowledge about what they're doing. And it's just like, you got to maintain on the road. Like, you want to be at your best. So we were just giving them, the information. And Fat Joe was disgusting because he said he ate White Castle with his wife and they binged on White Castle every year for like 2 days. And I was like, that's nauseating. I said, that is nauseating to hear. But he said it. So, so that's there on YouTube. That's Juice Appeal.
All right.
Yeah.
So we'll
Yeah.
have all that. All right.
Okay.
Well, I appreciate your time and you coming
Thank you. This was
on.
dope.